Hey everybody, this is Daniel. I gotta talk about something that's just eating away at my brain this week with everything going on with the Republicans trying to repeal Obamacare and having 6 years to put a plan together and still don't have one. That's a whole nother thing though. I want to talk about Donald Trump and these conflicts of interest because I just can't tell if he thinks we're that stupid and he's conning us, or whether he's just that stupid and doesn't get it. I don't know, but it really blows me away how much everyone's trying to pass off these huge conflicts of interest that he has and pretend like they're not a big deal. So let's talk about them. Okay, and here's why this matters. Let me just also say this real quick. It matters because next week when he puts his hand on whatever book he does to uphold the Constitution and the Republic, he'll be violating the Constitution at the very same time that he makes an oath to defend it. Because he has had time, okay, to make meaningful progress on the divesting of his assets and stuff. Getting rid of them, putting them in a blind trust, selling them off so that he doesn't have perceived conflicts of interest. He ain't done it. While he was running for office, he started several businesses. He owes $1.5 billion to different banks on Wall Street, spread out over different businesses and investments. $1.5 billion? Like, it hadn't occurred to anybody that these banks are going to do him a favor. They may write off that debt just because they know they can get some legislation that'll benefit them later. He's putting his business in his son's hands, saying that that's how he's going to resolve it. They're your sons, Donald. Like, do we look that stupid? Like, they're your sons. Jesus. And his son-in-law is going to be working with him in the White House. There's anti-nepotism concerns and laws there too. I'm just looking at all this and I'm like, do you honestly think we don't see the conflicts of interest? I mean, you already have foreign diplomats who say, well, we're going to definitely stay at Trump Tower in New York because we don't want to stay at another place and offend him. That's a violation of the Emoluments clause of the Constitution. It says no person in office can receive any kind of benefit from a foreign entity. Because the founding fathers wanted to make sure that another country couldn't just buy the leaders of our country. And it looks like they're going to keep buying Donald Trump every time they stay at one of his places. And then I'm looking at Donald Trump's cabinet, which I don't agree with any of the selections. But as much as I don't agree with any of these people, at least they're doing stuff to try to deal with their conflicts of interest. Jared Kushner, his son-in-law, who's going to be a senior advisor to him, which I don't think should be, but that's another conversation for another day. He's at least selling different real estate properties and separating himself from the business so that he's not running it and somebody else is, while he's going to be serving his father-in-law, which is, it is what it is. And then Rex Tillerson, who's going to be Secretary of State, he's the nominee, who I think is another bad choice. He sold all his stock in ExxonMobil, put it in a blind trust. He's disconnected from that. So I look at Donald Trump, who's running around saying, oh, well, it's not against the law because I'm the president. Which is true with some laws, but you don't get out of having to follow the Constitution like the rest of us. Or maybe you do because you're wealthy and white. So maybe you do get out of it. But I'm just looking at all this like, do they really think we're that stupid? And the other thing that bothers me is when I'm taking a look at all this, I know from a hypocritical standpoint, this would not be acceptable if someone else did it. I didn't support Hillary Clinton at all during the election. I didn't vote for her. But I can tell you this, if Hillary Clinton had won, as she did these things Trump was doing, oh my God, people would lose their minds. Can you imagine if Hillary Clinton, just put your imagination cap on for a second. Imagine if Hillary won the White House and then said, oh, well, the Clinton Foundation, that thing that y'all were reporting on and criticizing me about, oh, don't worry, we've got a new head of it. Bill and I won't be heading that. It's going to be Chelsea Clinton. You think Trump supporters would have been okay with that? I doubt it. But they're okay with Trump doing this. Which now leads me to realize that Trump supporters really are no different than many Hillary supporters. Like, the partisanship is so strong, they might as well be rooting for the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Patriots because it doesn't matter what the team does or the party does, they're just going to root for them or whatever anyway. Like, here, We talk about politics here from a policy and principle standpoint. That's what I do. That's what I care about. I care about the policies and I care about principles. If it's wrong for one candidate to do it, then it's wrong when somebody else does it. Point blank, period. But not these people out here, man. And I think this is ultimately going to bite us all in the butt. Because we won't know whether Trump is doing these things in the interest of us, himself, or these entities, or a mixture thereof. I can tell you right now, I think he's going to be doing these things in the interest of himself. Always himself. In the benefit of himself. And if it benefits others as well, yeah, okay, capiche. But it'll be about him. And I just have to really know, am I the only one who this is kind of driving him crazy? Because everybody's acting like this, nobody's talking about this enough. Because the presidency is going to be compromised in a way we've never seen before. We talked about Wall Street owning our candidates, owning the White House, like I think they did with Obama and would have done with Hillary Clinton. They will own Donald Trump in a way that they may have never owned a president before. Because they own his debt. They own, it's almost like they own him. And we still don't know all his connections because he didn't show us those tax returns that he attacked Romney for not showing. So what do you think about this? I'm going to throw it to you. I'd love to see your thoughts in the comments. If you have any questions, just shoot them to me. I'm trying to make this like a conversation when I do these type of shows because I think it's good when we have conversation. I think it's good when we disagree respectfully. I think it's good when we talk to each other who have different political views and we get out of our bubbles. So this has been Daniel and I'll talk to you next time.